Hey, Shalom. All praises go to the Most High Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, Ba'ashem Kodash. Double honors unto the elder apostles and great millstones for the teachings of the scriptures, among other things. Shalom to the sincere Akim across the world. Now, I don't know what happened, man. I think I left my phone at home or something like that. So now I don't have the scriptures on deck. I gotta go off of the top of my dome. So that's gonna be irritating. But anyway, so damn, I really hope I forgot it at home, man, and not in the train when I came, well, metro, when I came here. Man, I really hope I didn't leave it there, man. For real. Yeah, I wrote this up, man. Damn, that would be real fucked up. Crazy, this crazy. But anyway, so yeah. Right. So let me get up in the scriptures. Now, I had a few scriptures in my head concerning the plow that we do this for. Which is this work and stuff like that, which is Luke chapter 9, verse 62. Because we at the end right now, because Esau, you can see Esau's kingdom is already fallen. You know, the Mosiah is making it to where all the heathen nations are kind of coming against Judah to a certain degree. But that's also supposed to be, because in the end, you know, they're all going to go against the Israelites, man. But Judah first and foremost. So let me read this. Luke chapter 9, verse 62. And Yahushua said unto him, no man having put his hand to the plow and looketh back is fit for the kingdom of the Most High. So once you start doing this work, you can't look back. You can't go back and then think of yourself like, hey, I'm going to go back in this world and stuff like that. And let me see if I put it here. Damn, I don't fucking think so, man. I hope I left it at home, man. And not in the fucking train. That's gonna be fucked up. All my shit is there. Anyway, so yeah, you're not supposed to be doing this work and then looking back into the world of Esau and just go back smoking weed, go back doing this, go back doing that. You know, the old school things that you used to do. You should put off the old man concerning the habits that you had back in the days. You know, starting first and foremost with the seeking fame, because every Jacob descendant that is, and as you know, that just is young and stuff like that, all of them, the majority of them, they're all of them trying to get a career started or something like that, man. Either they're trying to rap, either they're trying to be an athlete. Here it's in North America, it's the upper body, which is basketball, rugby, which they call football and stuff like that. But the lower body is the southern, no, I should say southern. Well, it's actually South America. South America has the lower body. They play soccer, the things with the feet and stuff like that. So they over here, for example, they're trying to get rich by joining a football club, which is what they call soccer. It's kind of irritating. But yeah, they're trying to join these clubs in order to excel themselves in this society. And in America, they're trying to be basketball ballers, football, you know, that rugby thing. Of course, rapping, acting, all these things. Jacob is trying to get over there, trying to elevate himself, you know. But over here, they're trying to do the same to a certain degree, but not really on an acting type tip, but more on football, which is what you call soccer. Trying to glorify themselves. But anyway, you shouldn't go back to that, because now this is the book of Hebrews chapter 6. Hebrews 6, and damn. Hebrews 6 and 4. No, it says right here. Hebrews 6 and 4. For it is impossible for those who were once enlightened and have tasted of the heavenly gift that were made partakers of the Holy Spirit. So you can't come up in this truth and taste the spirit of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, the spirit of the future to come, you know. You can already taste it and stuff like that, and then look it back into the world talking about I'm gonna just basically join them in this world and stuff like that. And my mind is on that telephone, man. Shit. But anyway, let me read it again. Hebrews 6 and 4. For it is impossible for those who were once enlightened and have tasted of the heavenly gift and were made partakers of the Holy Spirit. So everyone that was in this truth and that fell off, at one point in time they had the Holy Spirit upon them in order for them to be able to understand this truth, and in order for them to be able to just go about up on the street and do teachings and stuff like that on the street, and also do videos and all that there. They must have had the Spirit of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai at one point in time within them in order for them to be able to actually get up and do this work. Some run out of gas, which is Luke chapter 14, and some, basically the Spirit ain't with them no more. They don't want to go out there and teach what's going on. Hebrews 6 and 5, and have tasted the good word of the Most High and the powers of the world to come. The good word of the Most High. This shows you that the word is also something to be eaten. You eat this word, eat this robe, and go out there and teach. So Hebrews 6 and 5, and have tasted the good word of the Most High and the powers of the world to come. And what type of powers of the world to come, for example? You have, of course, spiritual powers, of course, and stuff like that. And also authority. The heathens have authority over one another, but the Israelites, amongst ourselves, we don't have authority, but I'm not focused on that. I'm focused on authority over them. That's what I'm actually going toward. That's what I'm going toward. And I'm not with the unruliness. I am giving an example of a fact, which is, for example, you have a lot of false prophets, false teachers and stuff like that, and then you have a lot of men following them. You shouldn't be like that. Through the Spirit of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, you should know who speaks the truth in Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, and from there on you start, Lord willing, you will hear a voice that says, follow, this is the way, follow ye it. So and then you do that. But it's all to the Spirit. I can't really actually tell you. Well, I can tell you, but every man esteemeth a day. Well, some men esteem one day. Some men esteem every day or many days. So let every man be persuaded in his own mind. I can guide you toward there, but are you going to drink their waters? Are you going to eat their food? But anyway, which is this truth? So Ezekiel chapter 3 verse 1, which says, moreover he said unto me, Son of man, eat that thou findest, eat this roll, and go and speak unto the house of Israel, which is the 12 tribes now, because a lot of times, well, sometimes actually when it says house of Israel, it's talking about the northern tribes, and then the other times it's talking about the 12 tribes and stuff like that. Okay, so going on, verse 2, Ezekiel 3:2. So I opened my mouth, and he caused me to eat that roll. And that's how you open your mind, Job 33 and 15. The Most High openeth the ears and giveth the instructions unto the men. Actually, any men upon the planet Earth. But if you are a man of the Lord, then you will be instructed on what to do. I was instructed to misplace my phone today. Man, I really hope that the phone is in the house, man. Because I can't remember me grabbing it in the train. I'm Metro. I'm thinking in my head. Not that I remember. Anyway. Damn. I'm really not here, man. But anyways, sorry. So going on, Ezekiel 3 and 3. And he said unto me, Son of man, cause thy belly to eat and fill thy bowels with this roll that I give thee. Then did I eat it, and it was in my mouth as honey for sweetness. And he said unto me, Son of man, go get thee unto the house of Israel, and speak my words unto them. So basically that's the point of Hebrews chapter 6 and 5, let me read that again. Hebrews 6 and 5. And have tasted the good word of the Most High and the powers of the world to come. So that's how you taste this word, man. You taste this word, and you go out there, and basically you share this food. Just like in the book of Proverbs chapter 9. You know what I'm saying? You share this food, which is the food of, what's up, man? Yeah, man. Which is the food of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. That's supper. And Yahushai eventually will come and sup with you, so that you can break down these scriptures and break that bread. And then you pass that bread on to the others and stuff like that. And before you know it, Yahweh is up, they're going to be able to plant bread too. Because, bread doesn't have seed in it, but still, they're going to, because if I give you, like, for example, if I give you fruit, grapes, actually, I wanted to say grapeless, seedless grapes. If I give you that, how you going to plant? You ain't going to plant nothing. You're going to continually have to come to me, but I don't want that. Well, I'm not an Edomite, by the way, but Esau wants that. But I mean, like, you need to give him grapes with seed in it. And if you give him grapes with seed in it, and you tell him how to plant, because a lot of people don't know how to plant, even in the physical form. They think it's just dig a hole and put that thing up in there. To a certain degree, you're right, but you got to tend to it, man. You got to tend to it. You got to feed it. You got to do this. You got to do that. Not too much water. You got to, it's how you call that thing? You got to do stuff, okay? But same thing with this truth. You can't just go, well, you can do it if you want to. You can do a lot of things, but you shouldn't just go out there and thinking of yourself like, hey man, I'm gonna do this and do that, because if you ever decide to stop, that's on you. So you can't stop. Once you start doing this, Lord willing, you should never stop a day in your life, man. You should go on with this until death do you part, with your spirit and stuff, or until the salvation come. Either way, there's only two things in this truth: death, or being, making it in the flesh. It's like it's worse than in them gangs and stuff like that, because them gangs, they might look terrifying. If I get out, they're gonna get messed up. Well, if you get out this truth, the Most High is really gonna show you how to scream. You're gonna hear screams. You're gonna hear screams out your mouth, and you're gonna be like, I never knew I could scream like that. You're gonna start learning your body, like how them females learn their body when they move from here or any other country outside of America, and then they go into America. Then they start discovering their true potential on how to really, toss that puss around, popping their puss and stuff like that, and all that there. But anyway, so the book of Hebrews chapter 6 verse 6. If they fall away, to renew them again unto repentance, seeing they crucified to themselves the Son of the Most High afresh. I forgot my water too. Damn, man. I really hope that those items are at home. I really hope that. Really do hope that. Damn. I'm double checking, man. I felt every fucking pocket possible. Still didn't find it, so I hope it's at home, man. Anyway, let me go on. Right, so it says right here, what was I thinking about? I was thinking about First Peter's. I wrote it down, and I'm looking in my head if I see that I have it still, because I had it in my phone. The beginning parts and stuff like that, just to get me jump started. So I'll write a few scriptures down that I already had planned. For example, if I leave the house and stuff like that, then I start planning. Well, not really planning. I'll just put a few scriptures and stuff like that, and off of that, then I go, because I go in another direction anyway, so it doesn't matter anyway. So I just put like 3, 4, 5, 6 scriptures, and then that's it. And from there off, I just go up in dimensions and stuff like that. No, it says right here, let me see something. 2 Peter chapter 1. Verse 10. 2 Peter 1 and 10, right? So it says right here. Right. 2 Peter 1 and 10. Wherefore the rather, brethren, give diligence to make thy calling and election sure. For if ye do these things, ye shall never fail. So let me read it again. This is how you know that you shall never fail, because, well, you would hope. But there's more hope in it, I should say. So it says right here, 1 Peter chapter 2 and 10, wherefore the rather, brethren, give diligence to make thy calling and election sure. Diligence is when you really go out there and do it. You know what I'm saying? I forgot the true meaning of the word. I don't have my phone, so I can't look it up. But you do your best, beyond your best, you know what I'm saying? To make thy calling and election sure. So this is how you can make your calling and election sure, by giving diligence and taking heed unto this word, and never looking back. Because once you look back, and we ain't in that time to be looking back. you was never supposed to be in the time of looking back into the world and deciding to yourself like, yeah, I actually do desire going back, just doing these type of things and stuff like that. When you win the world, then hey, then you think like that. But for example, when you win this, when you just a part of society and stuff like that, well, what is the first thing that comes to your mind? If you're smoking weed, man, I'm gonna never stop smoking weed again in my life. This is the best feeling upon the planet Earth. But once you get out of it, you're gonna be like, damn, that shit was crazy, man. I was just thinking of a whole different type of manner and stuff like that, And I don't want to think like that no more. Even though I like a few things of it, because if you, for example, if you smoke weed, you're very focused, very focused. But that's, but you need to do that. Sorry, you need to do that without that weed thing. You should do it without it, and then you're going to find out that you can actually do it, because what does weed do? It actually shuts you out. You can pinpoint focus more or better, whatever they call it, and stuff like that. But you can do it off of your own too. All you need to do is emulate those same stimulation or whatever they call it, and then you can kind of do it to a certain degree. To a certain degree, maybe even better. I don't know. It's possible, right? But anyway, going on. So you should make your calling and your election sure. So now, is it in your hands? Yeah, yes and no. No with salvation is only of Yahweh Bashem Yahshai, which He sends the Lord Yahweh Shai. Okay, that's 100%. But it also depends on you. With all thy faith, do thee thy works. So if you have the faith, still do the work. You know what I'm saying? Because I've seen people that have that faith, but they don't really want to do that work. They really, they believe in Caesar Borgia and stuff like that. Well, not all of them. You have certain they believe in Caesar, but they don't do the works. You have others that believe in, Huya or whatever they call them now. You know what I'm saying? But they don't do the works neither. But you have others that believe in Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, but they're still lining up. They're still chasing, enticing females and stuff like that. They're still out here in the world trying to, please themselves and pleasure themselves upon the carnal matter. But anyway, so now let me go to the book of 1 Timothy chapter 4 and 16, which is another one to show that you still got to do the work within your mind, body, and spirit, soul too, which you could say is a kind of difference, but they're all intertwinable. Mind, soul, spirit, and mind. Soul, spirit, and mind. The spirit is they are all intertwinable, because sometimes it says in the scriptures, and He gave up the ghost, and He gave up the spirit, that one, and also and her soul was ready to depart, which is Rachel. So all three, they're intertwinable. But if you want to kind of decide and make them specifically, right? It's actually soul is life force, and then spirit is the one that you choose for. Either you choose for Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, or you choose for the world and all that there, or you have the mind, which is basically carnal, which is thinking and stuff like that, which is the one that's battling you with the flesh, right? But like I said, they're intertwinable, right? So 1 Timothy chapter 4 verse 16, take heed unto thyself and unto the doctrine, continue in them, for in doing this thou shalt both save thyself and them that hear thee. So again comes another way to basically save yourself and also the ones that hear you. Are you claiming salvation for yourself? No. But are you saving yourself? Yes. Are you saving others? Yes. You help saving them, especially while you bring them on that path, and then from there on you just let them walk like a toddler and stuff like that. Then you let them walk. They're gonna fumble, fall to the left, fall to the right, but then you pick them back up. It's not like they actually stepped up, started walking and went to the left itself or went to the right, which is Deuteronomy 4. Don't go to the left, nor 4 and 2 and 1. 4, Deuteronomy chapter 4 verse 1 and also verse 2, one of those two. It says, and do not diminish aught of this word, and do not go to the left nor to the right. So stick to this word in Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, and that's it. Don't go to the left, don't go to the right. Going back to where I was, which is What is it, man? Ezekiel, yeah. Oh, yeah, look. Right. Let me double check this right here, right? Yeah, Luke 9. I already read that actually. Anyway, so okay. So then you make sure that they're toddler, you know, because we're all babes in this truth. Well, you should be. You should be babes in this truth, especially when you come in. Don't try to be no professor or expert and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Just keep it cool, cat, lay low, and the Most High is gonna set you up. Yeah, certain people they look. Certain people they humble themselves just to get exalted because they're waiting for that. They're pumping for that time. You need to humble yourself off of yourself. You need to want it for yourself. You know what I'm saying? Of course, they come at a reward with it because the apostles asked it themselves. Matthew 19. They asked them. Wait, let me get that for you. The apostles asked themselves. Wait, let me read this again. Read Matthew 19. The apostles themselves ask also. That's what I should say. So Matthew 19 and 23. Let me see. No? 27. Then answered Peter and said unto him, Behold, we have forsaken all and have followed thee. Right? What shall we have that for? So they wanted something in return, which is not bad with it. But like I said, you have certain people that actually do this only for that. You need to do it. I would suggest you need to do it also because first and foremost you love the sheep of Yahweh Bashem Yahshua. You love the Lord Yahweh Shai. You know? Then you help him for that. You might say like, oh, okay, do you really love the sheep and stuff like that? Look, I'm gonna give you an example of a fact, right? You don't have to like everybody up on the planet Earth. Just like in school, you don't. You're not friends with everybody in school. You're only friends with the people that you actually match with and stuff like that. So keep that in mind too. But anyway, just because you're not friends with one doesn't mean that you don't love actually the multitude of the sheep. It's just a few motherfuckers that you just don't. You can't stand them. So hey, Lord willing, we gonna see about that. But me personally, like I said, it's something. How you call it? I don't even know how the hell you call it. Anyway, we're gonna work that out. You know what I'm saying? Because the Most High is gonna put, He's gonna put the spirit on you to do certain things and stuff like that. And then you just wait. Just again, put your faith in Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh. He's gonna figure things out. He's gonna figure things out for you. Let me go on. Matthew 19 and 27. Then answered, already. We have forsaken all and followed thee. What should we have that for? Again, you have certain people that, all they think about is the outcome. They don't think about the actual route. The route. Do you really care for the sheep of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh? Do you really want to see your Jacob descendant people balling, living good and all that there? But not with some caucus money up in their hands and stuff like that. No, with some actual real substance that they own. You know what I'm saying? With land, everything that you can imagine. That is what you would want for the Jacob descendants. If you have that mind, I think it's gonna be good, man. Lord willing, of course. Hey, anything can happen. But anyway, going on. So it says right here, 28, and Yahushua said unto them, Verily I say unto you that ye which have followed me in the regeneration. So when you come back again, is like replay, and gen is gene, and generation is the generations of the genes that you put up in the womb of the woman and stuff like that. So regeneration is when you come back, either the third or fourth generation, or some people are maybe even older than that, and they have like great grandchildren while they're still alive. Well, then it's going to be the fifth generation, as long as you're alive. As soon as you're dead, then the third or fourth generation, that's you coming back. Matthew 16 shows you that. But Luke and Matthew 19 and 28, the rest of it. That ye which have followed me in the regeneration, when the Son of Man shall sit in the throne of his glory, ye also shall sit upon 12 thrones, judging the 12 tribes of Israel. Now that doesn't mean that the Jacob descendants are going to go off and that you need to judge them and correct them and stuff like that. No, because the book of Hebrews. Let me get that. Hebrews 8 actually, and also Jeremiah 31. But anyway, Hebrews 8 and Hebrews 8 and right. Hebrews 8 and 6. But now had he obtained a more excellent ministry by what? By how much also he is the mediator of a better covenant. So he's the mediator of the better covenant, because the first covenant is not that it was messed up, but it wasn't faultless. Sorry, our people had fault upon it. But the second one, let me read. It's going to be perfect. So it says right here, he's the mediator of a better covenant, which was established upon better promises. Right? Because we in the transitioning of the new covenant, or the second covenant, I could say, just like how you are betrothed. When you are engaged, you didn't have, especially back in the days. Nowadays, what do you engage for? Anyway, back in the days when you was engaged to a virgin, what happened? That let's say like you engaged to her for like a month or something like that, just give an example. That whole month she's already taken. So now we are betrothed or engaged, or it's another word, betrothed, engaged, or a hand is given unto the Lord Yahushua, and now we in the transitioning of being married. We're going toward being married. So are we in the new covenant? No, but we are in the engagement ceremony. I wanted to say ritual, engagement ceremony, meaning everybody and their mama, they know or should know that this when it's a physical woman and a physical man, everybody should know that, oh yeah, she's engaged to him and stuff like that. Nowadays they got the ring on the finger, which is some satanic stuff. It's not good, but just an example. By that ring, you can see, oh, she's engaged, or actually, no, she's in a relationship. That's what you could see. Not engaged or married, because some people have a ring, but they're not married, but they're engaged and stuff like that. But I hope you know what I mean, man. Okay? So then they're engaged, and that is where we are right now. We are in the transitioning of being married to the Lord Yahushua. So going on, Hebrews 8 and 7. For if the first covenant had been faultless, then should no place have been sought for the second. For finding fault with them, he saith, behold, the days come. Because if you read the book of Romans 7, Paul said, is the law death? Is the law sin? Death? Not sin, death? No. But it does bring death. So therefore, we are the ones that are at fault, but we couldn't keep it in the first place. That's why we're here in this situation where we are in right now. That's why Isaiah 24, it shows you that it is the Israelites that caused the world to be screwed up, basically, starting with the sons of the Most High in Genesis. Let me read that for you. Isaiah 24, actually. So Isaiah 24 and 1. Behold, Yahweh maketh the earth empty, and maketh it waste, and turneth it upside down. He made the world upside down. That's why dark is now on the bottom, and then caucus is now on the upper. You know what I'm saying? Caucus skin. So it says right here, verse 2. So Isaiah, that's one of the things that are upside down. Children are ruling over parents. Whatever. Sodomites have more rights than an actual hetero man. And stuff like that. If you hear the sodomite right now, you're in trouble. If you hear the straight man, you might not be in trouble. So it's either might. But if you hear the sodomite, you're going to be in trouble. Especially if they catch it. Anyway, first two. It's just an uneven plane. And the Most High said, He said, I will make a woman more, I will make a woman to compass a man. Meaning, they're going to surpass you, man. In rights and status and stuff like that. But it's the Most High that did that. So, don't even worry, you know. The only time I hate it is when I watch a movie. I don't watch modern movies no more because of that garbage. But only time I hated it is when I watch the modern movies and I see some dumb shit like, why is that in the movie? So I'll go back to the old movies, man. 90s, 80s and stuff like that, you know, early 2000s. They still had it going on around there. Certain movies of those era were dope too. I remember this movie, this female called China O'Brien. I actually forgot about her for a very long time until I recently saw some clips about movies of the 80s and stuff like that. And I saw it and I looked at it and I was like, damn, I know that chick. She was like the kung fu Edomite female of those days. And then I looked at a few of the clips and stuff like that. And I started to say to myself, like, man, Esau be stealing everything, man. When you watch these movies, right, you think he's the motherfucker that brought all that thing to the public's eye and stuff like that. He brought it to the public eye, all right. You know, he used his television and his movie in order to catapult himself like the ultimate kung fu warrior or something like that. But these are just movies. They're not like that. You know, they got guns. They shoot people and kill. They don't do the fighting thing in the MMA, but that's just something else. But a lot of those people use drugs anyway. So anyway, the point is that when you watch these movies right now with the mindset that I have right now, you would actually look at them and be like, damn, these motherfuckers is stealing the motherfucker. They're exploiting these Moabites and Ammon, actually Moab. They're exploiting Moab, man, by basically taking their stuff and then making billions off of it, man. You know, that's what I saw when I looked at it yesterday. I think it was yesterday. I looked at it and I was like, but this shit is still dope. It's still dope. If you ever want to watch a female movie that it doesn't have feminist and shit, that's what I'm telling you. It is the nowadays movies with the females that is the feminist bullshit. Because like I said, back in the days, you had all these female warrior chickies and shit like that in the movies. I'm not talking about real. And nobody had a problem with it. You know, it wasn't frustrating to see like, what the fuck is this shit? Like this little tiny chick be lifting dudes, and flipping them, folding them like a fucking folding chair. You know, you didn't have a problem with it back then. Well, I didn't, but now I do. But still, I'd rather watch those movies again. But anyway, so the new movies are garbage. Isaiah chapter 24, verse 2. And it shall be, as with the people, so with the priest, as with the servant, so with his master, as with the maid, so with her mistress, as with the buyer, so with the seller, as with the lender, so with the borrower, as with the taker of usury, so with the giver, giver of usury to him. The land shall be utterly emptied and utterly spoiled. And Yahweh had spoken this word. So, let me go on. Verse 4. The earth mourned and faded away. The world languished and faded away. The haughty people of the earth do languish. They're gonna break down. The proud people of the earth, they're gonna break down, right? Because you had a lot of people up on the planet Earth that were very proud. Until this day, you got lovers of self. That's why you have all these people on YouTube and whatever, man. Kick, all these types of platforms, streaming platforms. Sorry, these streaming platforms and stuff like that. You have everybody over there. What are they trying to do? Trying to get attention, clicks, lovers of themselves, man. They love their money, they love the attention. And that's why I can't wait till Esau cut your water off, man. Cut that whole bullshit internet off, make people pay for it and shit like that. I don't need this shit. What the fuck am I doing on the internet for? The only thing that I'm doing is the videos and just watching stuff and stuff like that. That's why I got I got terabytes, man. I got terabytes of stuff, man. Terabytes, man. So everything I like, I download it, I put it up on a physical cartridge and stuff like that, because they're gonna take everything. They're already preparing for it. I got decades worth of shit, man. Lord willing, of course. I got decades worth of stuff, man. You know, years. Well, centuries I wanted to say actually, because decades is 10. Well, a decade is 10. But I mean, like, I wanted to say more. But I got centuries worth of stuff, man, going back hundreds of years ago, concerning information and stuff like that. But anyway, when it's movies, I go all the way back to the 70s, man, 60s. They Live 1971. I got all that, man, shit. So if they cut it off, I think I got something to do. I can still learn, because I didn't watch everything. It's too much, man. I can't watch every videos, man. You know? I just can't. There's too many of them. I got too many things going on, man, concerning learning. That's why sometimes I be just chilling. I ain't doing nothing the whole day concerning teaching and stuff like that, reading. Not doing that, but I'm talking too much. So Isaiah 24 and 5. I will read 4 again. The earth mourned and faded away. The world languished and faded away. The haughty people of the earth do languish. Verse 5. The earth is defiled under the inhabitants thereof, because they have transgressed the laws, changed the ordinance, broken the everlasting covenant. Who did that? Was it the Hamites? Who did that? Japhetic people? Maybe it was Esau. He broke the everlasting covenant. Genesis chapter 17 explains you who the covenant is made with. The covenant is made with the Abraham and Isaac and his children, which is Jacob. Not his children, his child, Jacob. And from there, the 12 tribes. And then it never went again to the left nor the right, because when it came to Isaac, it went to the right, actually, I should say, because the left, that was Ishmael. Then it went to the right, which is the second one, right? And then with Isaac, it went to the right again. It went to the second one again, which is Jacob. So, and from Jacob, it never went to the left nor went to the right. I'm talking about the blessing. Never went to the left nor the right. So going on. So who broke the covenant? The Jacob descendants. So it says here, Isaiah 24 and 5, the earth also is defiled under the inhabitants thereof, because they have transgressed the laws, changed the ordinance, broken the everlasting covenant. Genesis 17. The everlasting covenant is broken by the Jacob descendants. So, because of that, read it again, changed the ordinance, broken the everlasting covenant, and the verse 5, the earth is also defiled under the inhabitants thereof. So it's also defiled. So there were other reasonings and stuff like that for it, you know. But yeah, it was the defiling and the breaking of the law, but it was also the defiling of the heathen nations that was in the midst of the world. For example, the Canaanites never got this law, right? But the Most High said in the book of Genesis 15, he said, the Canaanites, I will bring you back into this land until the sins of the Canaanites reached unto heaven. So, even though you are not under the law of Yahweh Bahasham Yahushai, you're still sinning. Now, let me get you that real quick. Genesis 15 and let me see. I think it's 18. Pages is taken. Genesis 15 and 16. It says here, but in the fourth generation they shall come hither again, for the iniquity of the Amorites is not yet full. So the iniquity of the Amorites wasn't full yet, man. So that means the Most High let them do their little sin for like 400 years. And after the 400 years, the Most High was like, it's enough. Now get them children out of Israel, because they sinned enough on that land for 400 years long. They've been sinning in that land. Meanwhile, we was in captivity, in slavery in Mizraim. We was over there, catching hell over there, 400 years. And then after that, the Most High got us up out that land, came to the land of Canaan. And then the first one we set on fire was Sihon and Og. Those were the two. They was on the other side of Jordan, on the side of Moab and Ammon. And of course, Adam and Ishmael on that side. They was on that side. So we tossed them out of the land. The Most High tossed them out of the land, but we smoked them. And yeah. But that shows you that even though you are not under the laws of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, if you sin upon the land or you break the laws of the Most High that are not given to you, but it is written for the entire planet Earth, but it is given unto a nation to govern themselves after, which is the Jacob descendants. So you're still gonna get punished. Yeah, you're not under. You're not under. Well, the laws have not been given unto you, but Isaiah chapter 2 explains to you that the law shall go out of an. It's not on you. The law. With that female. It's that was something. It says the laws are not on you, which is Isaiah chapter 2. Sorry, what am I doing? Isaiah chapter 2 explains that. Let me get it. It says. Bible lezen. What am I doing? Oh, yeah. It says right here, Isaiah 2, and also John said it too. John 4, it said, for the salvation cometh of the Jews. But it was the kingdom of Judah, because Benjamin, Paul was there too. So when it says Jews in the New Testament, it's actually talking about the kingdom of Judah. Okay. Isaiah 2 and 3. And many people shall go and say, come ye, let us go up to the mountain of the Most High, to the house of the God of Jacob. Here it comes. And he will teach us of his ways, and we will walk in his paths. For out of Zion shall go forth the law, and the word of the Lord from Jerusalem. So, the establishment, the governing body, the governing mouth of the planet Earth is going to come from the Jacob descendants. Yeah? Same thing with John 4, where it said salvation cometh of the Jews. I want to say it's the salvation cometh of Judah. I hate that word. I fucking hate that word. But anyway, I hate that word. If you didn't notice, I get uncomfortable saying that word. Like, hey, I don't like that word, bro. But for edification's sake, whatever. But yeah, Matthew 19 and 28. And Yahushua said unto them, verily I say unto you that ye which have followed me in the regeneration, when the Son of Man shall sit on the throne of his glory, he also shall sit upon 12 thrones, judging the 12 tribes of Israel. And back to Hebrews 8 and 8. For finding fault with them, he saith, behold, the days come, saith Yahweh, when I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah. Now this is then therefore talking about all 12 tribes. In this case, the house of Israel is talking about the 10, and then the house of Judah is talking about the two tribes. Yeah, you might say 13 because Levi is not mentioned like that, but that's why I'm not talking about it like that, because there wasn't named the tribe, and then later on Dan, it's not mission in action, but it's like, I don't know, so we're gonna find out. Then you have something to look forward to, an answer that you don't have but still gonna get eventually. So Hebrews 8 and 8, finding fault with them, he said, behold, the days cometh, saith Yahweh, that I will make a new covenant. I already read that in verse 9. Not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day that I took them by the hand to lead them out of the land of Mizraim, because they continued not in my covenant, and I regarded them not, saith the Most High Yahweh. Verse 10. So it says, for this is the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel after those days, saith Yahweh. I will put my laws in their mind and write it in their hearts. And I will be unto them a power, and they shall be unto me a people. So the point is that you're not going to be able to go off, because you're going to have the laws within you, the laws of Yahweh Ba'Shem within you. So you're not going to be able to go off, So back to Matthew, where it speaks of Matthew 19, where it speaks about that. It says, let me see. Yeah, first the rest of 28. Ye all shall sit upon 12 thrones, judging the 12 tribes of Israel. So that doesn't mean that you're going to the 12 apostles are going to judge them, talking about they made a mistake. They're just going to be a ruling, governing body over them. you know, because all Israelites are going to know the laws of Yahweh. They're going to know the Most High Yahweh, which is also in the book of Jeremiah 31, which explains to you that then we're going to be in the new covenant for real, for real. But now we are engaged. You know what I'm saying? Basically, right? Because we are in that process of being married, you know, to Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shai as a whole. So we're just waiting for that day to come, and once that day comes, it's gonna be a supplanting day. That day, you know, it's gonna be a day of Jacob, right? It's gonna be a beautiful day, and we're gonna replace Esau. It's gonna be a supplanting day. We're gonna replace Esau, and we're gonna take his stead, which is actually our stead. He took our stead, so we're gonna take it back. Because there's a difference between a supplanter and a deceiver. A supplanter, let's say two men are together, right? And one supplants another. Well, he didn't lie to him. You know the importance of the thing that I'm going to supplant you with or for, and I know the worth of the thing that I'm going to supplant you for. You just didn't care. You just sold it and stuff like that, right? But we both knew the importance of it, because after that he sold his birthright. He came to his father and he cried. He's like, didn't he supplant me? But you sold it to him. Because he didn't care about it. In the book of Genesis 27, the last verse, it shows you that, well, let me get it for you. It shows you that he didn't care. But a deceiver is a liar. He's going to tell you like, hey, that thing is worthless, man. You know what I'm saying? Just give it to me. I'll make sure I sell it for you because you're not going to be able to sell it. You know? Let me buy it from you for dirt cheap too, because he's going to lie to you. And then he's gonna tell you like, yeah, I'm gonna sell it for like maybe like I don't know, maybe I'll throw it away, you know, or maybe I'll just keep it for myself. Meanwhile, he's lying to you because he deceived the stuffings out of you. Genesis chapter 27, verse. Genesis 27 and let me see. Oh yeah, 25. Sorry. 25 and 34. So Genesis 25, 34. So it says, then Jacob gave Esau bread and pottage of lentils, and he did eat and drink and rose up and went his way. Here it comes. Thus Esau despised his birthright. You know what the word despise means? It means to look down upon. So he looked down upon it like, what is this birthright going to do to me? Here, I'm about to die here of hunger and stuff like that. It shows you that he's not a spiritual person, first and foremost. You could have just went on a fast. You know, you could have went on I don't know, man, start eating grass or something. Drink water for that day. But he probably wanted to have that meat because he was hunting and he didn't catch nothing. So he was probably thinking like, man, I'm going to eat that stuff. But you know what the thing is? Esau didn't know how to cook. Because he didn't know how to cook the food well done. Because it says that Isaac, he loved the venison of Jacob, of Esau, sorry. So he did know how to cook. He knew how to cook. You know, he just did it for himself. When he cooks for himself, they make the steak very raw. You know, they do it with other things too. If you go to the supermarkets, right? And then you buy slices of sliced chicken and even the ham. I don't eat it, but I mean, like I see it. I see how pink it looks. It looks raw. You know, a cow meat, which is what you call. I forgot the word that they say for cow meat. But anyway, they cut it in slices, very thin. Charge you hella crazy for it. But anyway, for bread. You know, you got them slices of meat for bread and stuff like that in the supermarket. When you look at them, then you will see that it is pink. You see red dots upon it too, like it's blood, man. That's why if I buy that shit, right, I put it. I used to buy it back in the days, but when I used to buy it, well, I do know no, he's not Arab. He's from Pakistan. Oh no, sorry, Afghanistan. When I go to him and I do buy the slices of thing for bread, I don't eat it a lot, but I used to eat it. The point is, I used to take it. And because they sell to people, so they do cook it, but I don't think it's cooked. And The ones of Esau is worse. But let me finish the story. The thing is, if I buy it in the store, I go home and then I put olive oil of salt in the pot, in the pan and stuff like that, and then I fry it. I'm not eating that shit raw. Are you crazy? It's too pink. I need it to be a little bit more well done, man. But Esau did it. Esau made well done food for Isaac because he loved it. So they know how to cook. But like I said, often, these Edomites as a whole, they don't know how to cook. That's why they need all these E-numbers in order for you to get addicted to the food. Think about it. How is chips addictive? Like, Lace or these okay, I don't have my phone right now. Chips, chips that you eat, when people they do it in a dip sauce and stuff like that. When they watch football, NBA, whatever, they get together and then they have chips and drinks and stuff like that. The chip sauce thing. No, not the sauce. Well, the chips that you dip in the sauce, that thing. Okay, so how is that thing so addictive? Well, how can potato be so addictive? And a lot of these chips are not even potato. If you look it up, you will see it's not potato. It's like some of them are like a certain percentage of potato. It is not. But anyway, how is that thing so addictive? Man, I tried that thing one time, right? I don't eat snacks and stuff like that. I tried that thing one time, and I went home, right? I ate it and stuff like that. And I couldn't wait until the next time that I went to the store to go buy some more. That's when I knew, like, nah, hell no. They put something in that food, man, in order to make it so addictive. Well, that's what they do with a lot of things, man. And when you go to Esau, his fancy restaurants and stuff like that, don't order meat. They can't cook. Don't order meat. And if you go to the average Edomite's home, I'm not going there, but I have heard stories about themselves. here themselves, when they come to us, our people, not me, but I mean like our people, then they get addicted to the food, man. But not in a junky type of way. It's more as in, man, I need to buy this type of food, or I need to tell my mother how to make it like this or like that or whatever. Why? Because they most of the time they make food without salt or any type of herbs and spices and stuff like that. That's why they buy Indian food from India. That's why look, a restaurant, Italian restaurant over there. I think it's Italian. Yeah, Italian restaurant. They need these places, and a lot of these Italians, they stole food from Jake. Who do you think was there? They're calling themselves the Moors and stuff. Who do you think was there? Anyway, I'm talking too much. Going back to the book of, basically Matthew 19 and 29. So it says right here, everyone that had forsaken houses or brethren or sisters or fathers or mothers or wives or children or lands, for my name's sake, shall receive 100-fold and shall inherit everlasting life. But many that are first shall be last, and the last shall be first. Right, because you have another scripture, that another chapter, I forgot if what chapter it was, which speaks about the workers that came first, right? In the third hour, which is 9 o'clock. The 6th hour is 12 o'clock. The 9th hour is then therefore 1500, which is 3 o'clock p.m. Yeah, p.m. Yeah, p.m. And then the ones that came in the the ones that came after the 9th hour of the day, those are the ones that still got the same amount of amount of money or talent that the first one had, that been working for 9 hours. Yeah, he worked for 9 hours. I'm thinking worked for 9 hours. So 3, 6, 9. The third hour of the day is 9 o'clock in the morning. The 6 hours of the day is 12 o'clock. The 9th hour of the day is 3 o'clock afternoon, which is 1500, and so forth and stuff like that. But he worked for like 9 hours, and he got that same coin, pop, right? That same shekel, right? Of silver. I think it was silver. And then the other one, he came the 9th hour, I think, and he only worked until the 10th hour, which is like 4 o'clock. 4 o'clock, so-called 4 o'clock and stuff like that. 1600. So he worked 1 hour, and he still got, and then when everybody was about to get paid, he still got that same coin as the others, as all others did. Now the first one, he was angry. He was like, "Hey man, what the fuck is that?" But that was the deal that they made. And that's first and foremost. And second, a lot of people use that scripture to say, like, see, the last ones are also great. You're not greater than the teachers that started this all, that taught us all. You need to know who that is. Anyway, you're not going to get their rank in their system. The elder apostles at great minister. You're not going to get their rank in our system. And you shouldn't want that. What fucking... Go read the book of... Have some self-fucking dignity, man. Have dignity, man. Go read the book of Numbers 36 and Numbers 27. Don't desire somebody else's shit, man. I can't stand motherfuckers like that. But anyway, the point is that you're not going to get that reward of... Wait, let me say it better. You're not going to get his status and his rank. You're going to get his reward, which is salvation. Yeah? The salvation is the reward. The scripture does say covet the most blessed gifts in 1 Corinthians 12 and the last verses, but in 1 Corinthians 14 and 1 it says you need to covet prophesying, speaking about prophecy. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, so going back to the book of Proverbs 20, not back to it, but I mean going forward, Proverbs 21:16. It saith, damn. Show my phone is on Proverbs 21:16. The man that wandereth out of the way of understanding shall remain in the congregation of the dead. So don't be a dead man, because you're gonna be in a dead state of mind if you walk out of the way of Yahweh Baal Shem Yahweh Shai, where you should stay in it. So once you put your hand to this plow and you're looking back into the kingdom of Esau, because it's so-called, lustrous and luxurious and all that type of stuff. Remember, the majority of Esau's things are detrimental to the earth. They are pollution. Here I smell cigarettes again. It might look cute and all that there, but that shit is just pollution. All the cars and stuff like that might look cute, bring you fast from one place to another. Still pollution. So all these things that Esau has is all about destroying the earth and all that type of stuff. You have to understand, he can make cleaner cars. He can make cars that he don't want to because he's a devil. He can make, they already have cars, but a lot of people died making, publicizing these type of things. For example, you have people that make cars running on the water, so running on salt water, there's a guy that made a car running off of bananas. I don't know how the hell he did that shit. But you have other people that they just do stuff with the car, putting the car industry in jeopardy. But he wants to continue to milk out the oil in the earth, which is needed for the lubrication of the earth. That's one of the reasons why you have a lot of earthquakes, because they're rubbing against each other. Have you ever tried to have sex with a girl that isn't wet? If you've been through that, you fucked up, because you didn't handle your business right. It's not about handling your business, by the way. It's about, is she really into you? Maybe she's afraid, I don't know. Maybe she's nervous, I should say. If she's afraid, you fucked up. You thrust it. But anyway, it's lubricated, that's the point. It's lubricated, then it goes smooth. But if it's not, then you're gonna have earthquakes, man. It's the Most High that does it, but still Esau is the one that's milking the earth. But the Most High already predicted it like that. He allows them to do the things that he does with long suffering, and once that time comes, he's gonna Hulk smash him. So Luke 8:52. No. Oh, Sirach, damn. Sirach 16. I'm looking something here, man. Sirach 6. Now, this is the book of Sirach, right? 6. It's Ecclesiasticus 6 and 19. It says right here. Come unto her as one that ploweth and soweth, and wait for her fruits. For thou shalt not toil much in laboring about her. So, you need to wait for the fruits, man. Wait for the fruits of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. You know? Don't wait, she's not done. But thou shalt eat of her fruits right soon. She is very unpleasant and to the unlearned. He that is without understanding will not remain with him. So, the Proverbs 21 explains to you that the man that wandereth out of the way of understanding shall remain in the congregation of the dead. And also, the wisdom cannot stay with certain type of people because they can't stand the wisdom and wisdom can't stand them. Let me read it again. Because the wisdom is a spirit that is going to choose certain type of men to actually dwell with through the spirit of Yahweh Ba'asham Yahweh Shai. So the book of Sirach, which is Ecclesiasticus in the Apocrypha, it says, verse 19, come unto her as one that ploweth and soweth. So you need to come unto wisdom as a man that loves to plow work and loves to sow seeds. You need to love putting the wisdom within another person, man, to make him wealthy. First Corinthians 10 or 2 Corinthians 10, it speaks about make not thyself wealthy. Oh yeah, seek not your own wealth. Let every man seek another man's wealth, another Jacob descendant's wealth. And the Moabite and the Ammonite, you shouldn't want nothing for them. If I have 1 cent in my pocket, I'm still not giving it to you. I'll be like, no, or I'll make something up. Like the wise, how you call that thing? Like the wise steward. No. Because the Most High said it. He said you shall not seek their prosperity. But sometimes, you know, you got Moabites that are cool with you, and Ammonites that might be cool with you. You might want to help them. But as a whole, don't do it. For example, it says the Most High, he that pleaseth the Most High, he even maketh his enemies to be at peace with him. So some of these enemies of yours, they're at peace with you, but they're your enemy. So Deuteronomy 23 verse, right? Deuteronomy 20, you might say something like, yeah, but but wait a minute. You love the old school mangas and stuff like that. Yeah, the old school mangas, they wasn't racist like this. They had characters that were dark skinned. I could show you so many mangas for the old school, man. They used to glory Jake. They had Jake music. They wasn't busting at fucking rock and roll the whole time and all that shit. Rock and roll used to be black music, but now it's fucking devil shit, man. I don't want to hear that shit. But that's what they got nowadays in the animation music and stuff like that. Be like, that sounds like some devil shit. That sounds like some devil shit. But if you listen to the 80s, like Fist of the North Star, if you listen to the music of Fist of the North Star, that rock was beautiful. I said it. That was beautiful because, like I said, it was inspired by Jake. It was inspired more by Jake. If you listen to the rock of the 80s, 90s, even the Edomites, they used to put the rock. It was, to me, that was some good stuff because it was closer to Jake. Now they started to get further and further from Jake, and they started to create their own little thing where it's just devil shit. You know, that's what they do. Deuteronomy 23 and 5. Nevertheless, Yahweh thy power wouldn't hearken unto Balaam. Well, I'll start at 4. It says, verse 6, thou shalt not seek their peace, nor their prosperity, all thy days forever. It's talking about Moab and Ammon. If you read the rest of the chapter, which is verse 3. Let me start at 3. An Ammonite, so Deuteronomy 23 and 3. An Ammonite or a Moabite an Ammonite or Moabite shall not enter into the congregation of the Most High. Even to the 10th generation shall they not enter into the congregation. Shall they not enter into the congregation of Yahweh forever. But there's another scripture that goes even deeper, which is Nehemiah? Let me see. Nehemiah 13? Oh, Nehemiah 13:1, it says, on that day they read in the book of Moses in the audience of the people, and therein was found written that an Ammonite and the Moabite should not come into the congregation of Yahweh forever. So they're not allowed. It says forever. When it says even unto the 10th generation, they can't come. That doesn't mean like, oh, so the 11th generation can? No, because in Nehemiah chapter 13, verse 1, it says forever and it stops right there. So they ain't coming. So going back to Deuteronomy 23 and I think 6. Let me see. Deuteronomy 23 and 6. Deuteronomy 23 and 6. It says, 6, thou shalt not seek their peace nor their prosperity. So if you can make them prosperous, get the fuck out of here. I'm not doing that. Especially as a whole nation. So, thou shalt not seek their prosperity all thy days forever. Let that sink in. So I got something against Moab, but Ammon too. But, so, like I said, just like how the Most High put the spirit on your enemies to be at peace with you from time to time, sometimes I'm cool cat with them. I'm always, you best in your head, you best to know that in my head, I'm looking at them like, because I see shit that they do, you know what I'm saying? With the whole K-pop thing that's going on, how they thiefing, all that there. But that's just one aspect. They mock us too, They're going to get theirs, man. Zephaniah chapter 2 shows you what's going to happen to Moab. I can get that actually. Then I'm going to wrap it up about that. But still, let me finish what I was saying. Wait. But yeah. So just like how the Most High said, that he that pleases the Most High, he keepeth his enemy, cool with him and stuff like that. He maketh his enemy to be at peace with him. Okay. So, and the scripture also said, if it is possible, be at peace with all men. I'm peaceful with them, man. But that doesn't mean that I'm not looking for your not prosperity. Like I said, if I'm able to do something, me personally going in, I don't want to. But like I said, you have certain of them that be like, cool cat. I don't even want to. But just to be at peace, I would say, hey, But just remember my original thought process toward them. Oh yeah, you might also say that, hey, you watch mangas and stuff like that. Yeah, just like how they listen to Jake music, but they still talk shit about you. See? You see? They still be watching they still be watching basketball. They still be watching or paying for it. They still be watching. What's that one? NFL, that football thing, Hut 1, Hut 2, that one. That football. Y'all call it football, right? that handball thing. I'm fucking with you, man. Yeah, I'm looking at you stupid like that. Call it football, right? Right. Fucking with you. But anyway, they still hate your guts. That's the point. So just because I watch mangas and stuff like that and play some Japanese games from time to time and stuff, that don't mean I'm associated with. I'm doing the same thing that they did to me, motherfucker. I take your shit and I make it mine. To a certain degree. I make it mine in my head. I ain't stealing. If you look at their stuff, you'd be like, a lot of things come from the Jakes. Like I said, watch the 90s mangas and stuff like that. And you're gonna see like, hey, that's some Jake shit right there. But anyway, a lot of the names I don't even know because it's Japanese. So I don't know the names. But I do know, like, I have a lot of them, man. Like, for real. A lot of things they copy Jake and then they put Esau up in it. they blast the yellow hair upon them with the blue eyes and stuff like that in the mangas and stuff like that, and then they even overpass the Asian characters in their Asian cartoons and stuff, mangas and stuff. They make the caucus surpass them. Fucking, how much more do you think they're gonna make themselves or the Edomites surpass them? Me, sorry. Let me get to Zephaniah, man. Right, Zephaniah. So yeah, we keep our hand to the plow, Lord willing, and above all, you have to put them prayers in, man. You can't just be walking on the planet Earth doing nothing. In this, in the faith, in the mind, in the spirit, in the soul. You can do your thing, but I mean, like, in this truth, you can't just only make videos, only breakdowns of the script. You can't just do that only. Save thyself, meaning hit them prayers, man. You can't just walk around on the planet Earth with your chin up high and stuff like that. You need to put your motherfucking head down from time to time, man. Get chin checked, you know. You can't just walk up with your chin in the air all the time, you know. That's not a good idea. You shouldn't do that. And if you do that, the Most High is gonna put your head down. So why don't you do it for yourself? Like Romans 13 said. You know, humble yourself for conscience sake, because you know, like, hey man, if I start walking like this, you know, most of the time, like, what you proud for, boy? Lower your head, boy. What am I looking for? Oh yeah, 7-9. Yeah, it's not here. It's here. Zephaniah. Oh, wait a minute. It's Old Testament. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, got it. Right. So. This is my beautiful Cushite scripture too, the chapter. I love the chapter because the Somalians are gonna get what I always want. Look. If you from here, you know that these people are not yours. You should know better, okay? But in America, they found out. I think they just found out that these people don't associate themselves with you. I looked at it and I was like, they actually have no like global idea of how these people, the other nations are and stuff like that. You know, they heard a little bit here, a little bit there, but I've seen them. You know, in Amsterdam, you don't really have them like that. When you go to Rotterdam, then you see them like, hey, what the fuck? Especially back in the days. Nowadays, they start coming here too. In Amsterdam, I start seeing them in the Bima and shit. I start seeing them. I'm like, what the fuck? I start seeing Ammon here too. Damn, y'all don't love your own country? I'm a slave descendant, so they can't say shit to me. So. But them Somalians and stuff like that, all the motherfuckers, they come over here with boats and planes and stuff like that. I didn't do that. Well, they shipped me here, well, to a certain degree. I didn't ship myself. Been here for a very long time. Well, my ancestors. Well, not here, but in Suriname, of course. So I was born there. But that's an whole other story. Like I said, Lord willing, actually I forgot. I was gonna make a video about that. I was doing other videos, but I forgot. I even put it in my telephone, which I don't have. Hey, shit. I really need to go home and double check if I have my phone there, man. Anyway, Zephaniah chapter 2, verse 1. Gather yourselves together, yea, gather together, O nation not desired. So the nation not desired is telling you right there. That's why they don't want to associate themselves with you, but they want to nap your stuff. They want to be napsters, you know. Verse 2. Before the decree bring forth, before the day pass, as the chaff. Chaff is a hulse of a grain. You can just, it's like a banana peel, but then for a grain, you could just blow it away. If you set it on fire, it will catch fire very quick. That's why the Lord said that Esau is going to burn like a chaff. A chaff catch fire. All you gotta do is spark it. It's dry. It's like the savanna. You know the savanna where the lions are. That grass that's dead. It's always dead. It's never green. The savanna is never green. It's always dead grass. Like, it's not dead grass, I should say. It's actually just brown grass, but it's then also for the lion camouflage and stuff like that, which is beige, brownish type of camouflage for the lions. And them other big type of cats. But anyway, that type of color, right? So let me go on. So it says right here, that shaft, the hulls of it. Anyway, before the day passes, shaft, yeah, come to pass. Before the fierce anger of Yahweh come upon you, before the day of Yahweh's anger come upon you. So before the Most High is angry, we need to go out there, hand out things to the sheep, and tell the sheep like, hey, check this out. This is the seed of the Yahweh Shem Yahshai. Don't just give it to them. Explain to them how it works, because a lot of for example, a lot of women, right? They don't know how to. It's actually a hard thing, especially if you don't have green thumbs. They don't know. Wait, let me finish it. A lot of women don't know how to actually take care of a cactus or other plants. That shows you that they're not very good at nurturing. Are you gonna give them your kids? No, no. That's the joke that I didn't want to make, because it doesn't necessarily always mean that. Just because she's not good with planting stuff and taking care of plants means she's actually a bad mother. I do say it. I do use that from time to time. But if you know, you know. If you give me time, I'll explain it to you what I mean, and then you have both sides. But if you just hear it, you'd be like, oh, sorry, wait a minute. Then you'd be like, oh, so wait a minute. You think that because women can't take care of a plant, that means they're bad mothers? Yes and no. You didn't hear the no part. The no part is not everyone is like that. Everybody is different, man. But I've seen a big bulk of them. They can't take care of a plant, man. Are you gonna let them take care of your kids? But again, not everyone has that. Some of them can't take care of plants, but they're very good mothers. And some of them vice versa. They can take care of plants, but they can't take care of kids. Because it's still a different thing, man. You know? It's still a different thing. A plant, you can just put water, and you know what I'm saying? But a child, you have to continually tend to it, man. You can't just go out partying and stuff like that. But that's a whole nother story, man. That's a whole nother story. That's what worldly women do. Okay? You know? So verse 3, seek ye the Lord, all ye meek of the earth, which have wrought his judgment. Who has wrought the Most High's judgment? All right, let me read on. So, which have wrought his judgment, seek righteousness, seek meekness. It may be that ye shall be hid in the day of Yahweh's anger. It may be. So it's not even certain. you might not, you might get a few, you might get 10 lashes, 10 days, be faithful unto death, Revelation 2:10. You might be locked up for 10 days, which is a form of lashes. You might be locked for 10 days and you still didn't give up and be like, damn, I think I'm gonna die in this jail. But they're like, no, Most High's gonna save me. And then after 10 days, he might be like, save you and stuff like that, Or you might get your head chopped off. All in all, we gotta take it. You gotta think of Job. It's very irritating to be like, damn, I gotta take this shit, but hey, hit them prayers and hit them understanding. With all thy wisdom, get the understanding, right? Because you have wisdom of how a telephone works, right? Or television, sorry. But do you have the understanding of it? If something happens to the back of the television, do you know how to fix it? I'm not saying I know, but I'm giving you an example of a fact. With all thy wisdom, get the understanding. You have the wisdom that it is some signal that goes through the wire that comes onto your television, and therefore you get the cast, which is you get the screen. It casts itself on the screen. You can cast your project cast. You can cast your telephone upon the television. That you can do that too. But I mean, like, the point is the understanding thereof. Once you get the understanding of it, you're gonna look different to these. You're gonna look different at the telephones and stuff like that. Television, sorry. You're gonna look different at them. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna look different at the telephones and all that. You're gonna look different at different type of things, man. When you look, I don't know how to explain it to you. Only if you know how it works, you will look at it different. You will look at it different. Back in the days, for example, I didn't know that Jake made games. He made the cartridge and stuff like that. I never wondered like that. But what's up, man? But later on, I started to dig into it because now I have my own computer. Very kind of powerful, actually. Anyway, I have my own computer. Then I started looking up stuff and digging up stuff. Then I was like, oh, that's kind of crazy. So now every time I look at stuff, I see something, and I'm sure the next person next to me would never see it because they don't know the back. They don't know what's in the back. They don't know how it works. So that's how you need to know the scriptures, Lord willing, of course. But it only goes through prayer, and Most High just give it to you. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I forgot to pray these last few days, man. That was crazy. It's really crazy. I was so busy the whole day. Damn. And it happened a few days. Only when I lay down and sleep and be like, hey, shit. And then I hit the prayer before I, hit the dream world or whatever they call it, And then the next day, wake up, of course, set that prayer. And then during the day, I'm lost. I forget. What? Crazy shit. But yeah, the Most High knows if you forget or if you forget it. Did you willingly do it? It's a difference. Look, you can forget, but you can't be like, forget about it, man. Forget about it. You can do that one. If you do that one, then that's on you. But if you really forgot, like, oh shit, hey shit, I forgot. That's another one, man. So then let nobody fool you. Like he forgets. Shut the fuck up, man. Did I say like, hey, forget about it? Did I do that? I didn't do that, fool. Fuck off, man. You got people saying dumb shit. But anyway, I didn't do that. If I forgot, I forgot. That's it. Deal with it. I know the Most High, know like he really forgot. He forgot. But anyway. But not like I went out my own self to be like, forget about it. I didn't do that. Anyway. Zephaniah chapter 2 verse 4. I'll read until 12. So, for Gaza shall be forsaken, and Ashkelon the desolation. They shall drive out Ashdod at the noonday, and Ekron shall be rooted up. These are all places where the Philistines were back in the days. But nowadays, Amalek is there. But these are Philistines. All these names are Philistines. You can read it in the book of Joshua 13. All these names are Philistines. And the Philistines are the sons of Mizraim that came from Kaptor, or Kaptoria, which is another son of Mizraim. Genesis 10. If you read that, you will see. Verse 5. Woe unto the inhabitants of the sea coast, the nation of the Cherethites. The Most High is going to destroy the Cherethites too, but you have to understand, in the time of King David, the Cherethites were our friends. You see, that's why I'm telling you with the Moabite type of thing and the Ishmaelite type of thing. Just because you're cool with them and stuff like that, don't mean that as a whole nation, they ain't going to get fucked up. They're going to get fucked up, bro. They're going to get fucked up. Israelites are going to get fucked up. How much more the heathen nations? Come on, man. You need to slap yourself out of your reality and slap yourself up in the scriptures. Hebrew smack yourself. You know what I'm saying? Going on. This is right here. Verse 6. And the sea coast shall be a dwelling. What? No. Verse 5. Woe unto the inhabitants of the sea coast, the nation of the Cherethites. The word of Yahweh is against you, O Canaan, the land of the Philistines. I will even destroy thee, that there shall be no inhabitant. So, you have the Canaanites and the Philistines there in that same sentence. You might think it's the same people. It's not. Like I said, I show you the place where you need to go, which is Genesis 10. You will see who is who and what is what. They're just two brothers. Going on. Zephaniah chapter 2 and 6. But again, the Cherethites were in the army of King David. He used them as guardians and stuff like that. Some of them were executioners. Like if a Jake committed something, a sin unto death or something like that, then he would tell the Cherethites to chop his head off or something like that, They was executioners, there was punishers. Sorry about that. I don't know. Tasted something in my mouth or something. Well, I didn't taste it. Anyway, it says right here. Like a sore thing here. It's not sore. I don't know what to say. I don't know how to call it. But let me just leave it. Now it is Zephaniah 2 and 7. And the coast shall be for the remnant. Oh, sorry, 6. And the sea coast shall be dwellings and cottages for shepherds, and fold for flocks. So we're gonna take their land. Well, we did it back. The Most High did it back in those days, but nowadays He's gonna do it again. And He's gonna take that land and He's gonna give it unto the shepherds to farm. Not farm. I mean, like to let loose their sheep and all that type of stuff. Just the grass, not the farm. The grass. I mean, you know, verse 6. 7. And the coast shall be for the remnant of the house of Judah. They shall feed thereupon. In the houses of Ashkelon they shall lie down in the evening, for Yahweh their power shall visit them and turn away their captivity. So the Most High is going to give us their land, which is also mentioned in the book of Deuteronomy chapter 6, which we did already, but we're going to do it again. And this time, I'm window shopping, man. Lord willing, I'm already window shopping. Because I believe, I hope the Lord is going to get me out of here. But I'm already window shopping, man. You know what I'm saying? I go to places and I be like, I would actually like to own here. Stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? And I've been doing this since 2007. I've been window shopping. You know what I'm saying? Internet window shopping in countries that I think I like. So I'll look it up and be like, let me see the landscape and the layout of the land. You're like, yeah, I like it. I'll take that. Right? Deuteronomy 6 and 6 and 10. And it shall be, when Yahweh thy power shall have brought thee into the land which He sware unto thy fathers, to Abraham, to Isaac, and to Jacob, to give thee great and goodly cities which thou buildest not. We took that, right? Verse 11. And houses full of all good things which thou fillest not, and wells digged which thou diggest not, vineyards and olive trees which thou plantest not, when thou shalt have eaten and be full. So the Most High is going to give us things that they worked for, and you might be like, well, that's what we did to you. Good. You're gonna find out what's gonna happen to you for taking from the children the apple of the Most High's eye. You're gonna find out. But the reason why we lost it is because we was wicked. And the reason why the Canaanites lost it because they was wicked. So now the reason why you're gonna lose it is because what? You're about to be exterminated. That's I didn't write that. I read it. I didn't write that. It says it in Obadiah 1 and 18. You're not going to be here no more. So, if you're not there, who's going to take your place? You know that game that they play when they walk around in a circle, and then you have chairs, and then you have chairs, and then when the music stops, and then somebody sits, and then you need to leave. That's going to be you, Esau. There's going to be no more chair for you to sit upon on the throne as if you're the king. Because now you're sitting on the throne, full of skulls, death, period, blood, kitty porn, Jeffrey Epstein legacy. That's what they're doing. That's the type of thing that Esau's sitting upon, you know. You got to be out your damn mind to. Anyway, let me go on, man. Zephaniah 2 and 8. I have heard the reproach of Moab and the revelings of the children of Ammon, whereby they reproach my people and magnify themselves against their border. So back in the days, our border was near, so Gad and Reuben and East Manasseh? Yeah, East Manasseh. They was near Ammon. And them Ammonites, they puffed off themselves talking about, we're going to take your land and stuff like that, right? And that didn't work out that good, because the Most High was like, what, really? And there's another scripture that says that the Most High is questioning them. It's like, was it Jephthah? He said, does Israel have no sons? Why are you trying to get that land? That means they have descendants. They have descendants that should take the land over, right? Why are you trying to steal their land? Basically, is what he said unto the Moabites. I forgot who it was, Jephthah or it was from the Most High, but I forgot who it was who said it actually. Anyway, Zephaniah chapter 2 verse 8. No, 9. Therefore, as I live, saith Yahweh, the power of hosts, the Lord of Yahweh, the host, the power of Israel. Surely Moab shall be as Sodom, and the children of Ammon as Gomorrah, even as the breeding of nettles. You know what nettles is? If you jump in nettles without no clothes on, you're going to feel the pain. You're going to have bumps up on you because it's going to hurt you. It's like poison ivy. And salt pits. Salt pits, nothing grows. Have you ever seen a sea that is empty? If you type in the Aral Lake, so ARAL, and then lake, Aral Lake, Aral or Aral Lake. If you type that, then you're gonna see a salt. It's like a dried up place. You're gonna see sand and salt and stuff like that. The point is, or just type in Google salt pits. Nothing grows there. So the prosperity of Moab and Ammon, the Most High is going to slap it away from them. So it says right here, and he's going to beat them up to where they have bruises all over. Symbolically, but in the physical form, they're going to get it too. But as a whole nation, they're going to be not prosperous. Yep, so it says right here, and the perpetual desolation, the residue of my people shall spoil them. We're going to take your stuff, man. Everything that you got, we're going to take it. Moab and Ammon, both of you. Moab be sitting on the land full of herbs. If I look at Moabite landscape, like Chinese landscape and stuff like that, you see very beautiful mountains and all that there, and a lot of greenery. But a lot of those people don't live there; they live in the cities. And if you type in Google caged houses in China, you're gonna see something funny. Caged houses. If you type dog houses, you're not gonna find it, but they are dog houses. Like how you put a dog in a wired cage. Yeah, real fucked up. Okay, that's how they live. Because they make, the Moabites are very fucked up. They're very heartless toward each other too. Ammon too. If you look at the history of Japan, what they did to the other to the other Asiatic people over there, that's why South Korea, they hate Japan. They have a history with each other. If you go to South Korea and you wave a Japanese flag with the circle in the middle, that's like a Nazi symbol to them. So they don't like it. I never knew that. I was like, what the fuck? They got some wars going on with each other and shit like that. Of course, I read about it, watched documentaries and stuff like that. So they was very cruel with the people over there. but off of themselves, they're cruel. Have you seen how they treat dogs and other animals? They're alive, man. Straight up, they're alive, man, when they're doing their little thing. But that's Moab, though. But still, Ammon be eating some fucking whales and dolphins. And that's why South Park made an episode about dolphin and whales. Crazy shit. Because that's actually what they do. They're cruel as shit. If you know that the animal is smart enough to know that you're hurting them, why the fuck would you do that? But they don't give a shit because they're cruel. Well, the Most High is going to be cruel to you, Moab and Ammon. So it says right here, Zephaniah. Because why? Why you might ask? Because you reviled the children of Jacob. You talk shit. That's why. So even as the breeding of nettles and salt pits and perpetual desolation, the residue of my people shall spoil them, and the remnant of my people shall possess them. We're gonna own you on a leash. They're already small, so it's funnier when you got them on a leash because it's gonna be like having children on a leash, like what Esau does with the children in America. It's only there. I never seen that shit here. Having your child on a leash. You need your ass beat if you a Jacob descendant doing that shit. I saw a Jacob descendant female doing that, man, having her child on a leash. I want to jump through the screen like Captain N and slap the shit out of that bitch for doing that, man. She had a Jake little boy or a girl on a leash, man. I was like, yo, what the fuck? You remember that meme that said, hey, yo, what the fuck? Hey, yo, what the fuck? That one? That came in my head, man. But anyway, Zephaniah chapter 2, verse 11. No? 10. This shall they have for their pride, because they have reproached and magnified themselves against the people of the Lord of hosts. Yahweh is the army. He is the army. Verse 11. Yahweh will be terrible unto them. He will famish all the gods of the earth, and men shall worship him, everyone from his place, even all the idols of the heathen. So everyone upon the planet earth is going to worship Yahweh Bashem El-Shai, and they're going to do it from out there, the comfort of their own home, their own homelands and stuff like that. And then you have Isaiah chapter 2 going to be in full effect in those days, because all the heathen nations are going to do after Jacob. Just like how everybody now is celebrating Christmas, that's how everybody's going to celebrate the holidays of the holy days of Jacob. Nowadays, people call it holidays. People don't actually, and I told you that people don't understand what they're saying actually. They're actually saying holy days. They're not holy. And second of all, they don't even believe in holiness. The word holy means to set apart. It's like you have your favorite shoe, then you put one apart, and then you make sure that that one doesn't get filthy. And if it does, you wipe it off real quick and stuff like that. Well, that's talking about holy, putting something separate. Well, that's the Jacob descendants. The Most High put you separate from the rest. You know, He wants you squeaky clean, because if you wash white clothing, you're not gonna put a black cloth in it. Why would you spoil the white stuff? You're not gonna do that. You're gonna wash it separately. When you put red, you're not gonna put a white cloth in it. You're gonna put only the red and other type of colors that are also bright, but something that you know is gonna turn pink is white. So don't put it in the midst of it. Okay? Anyway, so it says right here, the last verse, Zephaniah 2 and 12. So, ye Ethiopians, also ye shall be slain by my sword. So that's why I pray out Bashem El-Shai, right? Because I know that the Sabians. See, that's why I also say this. Look, I was talking that chitter chatter about the Moabites not helping them and shit like that. And that's true. I still feel that way. You know what I'm saying? But here it says the Most High is going to slaughter the Cushites, right? In Zephaniah 2 and 12. But he also says in the book of Joel chapter 3, and also in the book of Isaiah 45, he speaks about the Sabians. Now, if you read about it, you will see that the Sabians are the sons of Cush. So what does that mean? What does that tell you? It tells you that certain fractions of the Cushites, they're not going to have it as hard, like a hard time, compared to the other Cushites. I want them Somalians. I want them really down on the ground. But them Sabians, like for example, Eritrea. Don't hate that, guys. I'm a little bit more cool cat in the mind toward them, because I have never seen anything about them like that. So I know about them. And let me see. The Ethiopians don't really 100%, like, you know, so-called Ethiopians nowadays, don't really 100% have somewhat clashed or something. Well, not even clash. It's noticed. I don't notice them like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, you hate Jake? Okay, good. But Somalians, I have noticed. I noticed them. You see, when you're on my radar, you should. Anybody should have this. When you're on the radar of a Jacob descendant that loves to be a Jacob descendant, and you know they hate your guts, if you on that Jacob descendant's radar, you're in trouble. You should be in trouble. Well, that's the thing with them. So Eritrea is not on my radar. Ethiopia is not on my radar, but Somalia is on my radar. I know why. I seen enough and stuff like that. You know, for example. Yeah. So like I said, certain sections of that of them. I'm not bothering myself with them like that. But the Somalians, I'm gonna bother myself with them because they cost them. You know, and there's many more. The Midianites, for example, you have certain of the so-called Arabians. There's one bloodline of the Arabians that the Most High actually likes. Like the Most High blessed all Ishmael, with the Genesis 17, he blessed them all. But there's one, Midianites, that he actually gave us, and it's not even the Midianites, it's a bloodline from within Midianite. He gave them actually a blessing, which is Jeremiah 35. He gave them that blessing there. So even in the midst of the Midianites, you have a particular bloodline that is not going to have it that bad in the kingdom. I got that through the scriptures. Simple. You might be like, how do you know? It's no. Joel chapter 3 speaks unto you that the Sabians also are going to have pet slaves. Edomites. They're going to have Edomites for servants, slaves. So, do you think that he's an Amazon? Do you think that he's going to be worse off? No, he's not. Because if you tell him to do something, he's going to be like, hey, Esau, come here. Just boss. The boss says you got to do something. Okay, boss. Okay, big boss. Got to go do it. But if you want him to do it, then he do it. For example, cut up some food. I don't want that leper ass hand on him. I don't want that. Tell him to do it, and then I'll make him do it, I don't want your leper ass hand on that shit. You ain't touching my food, man. Go clean the toilet or something like that. So with that, I'm gonna give all praises to the Most High Yahweh, Bashem Yashar, Bashem Rabakodas, double honor unto all the apostles that were in for the teachings of the scriptures, among other things, and shalom to the sincere Akim across the world. Shalom.